Well, last week I tried to, 2 weeks ago, I tried getting Tom maybe to turn this piece that it's going to be turned today. Thinking last time that it was a piece of cherry, but actually I believe it to be a piece of mahogany. So I found my center point, ready to drill it, and I'm going to put it up on my worm screw as I can get the majority of this done all while it's on the worm screw. So let's get started. Got my 3/8 drill bit, center point. This will end up being the top, which will be hollowed out. So I'm going to start it off working on the back side of this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is start concaving up the inside, through up these 4 corners, which will actually be what sits on the table. Concave this and create an upside down bowl type of thing, winged, 4-winged bowl. And let's see how true I am to being centered. Okay, gotta go a little bit deeper on this outside edge. I don't want it to be so close to this edge. It would be nice if I had removed this decay completely, but that's looking pretty good. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. I can come a little deeper, but not towards the outside. So I have to maintain a little bit of an edge here. So go in a little bit narrower with this and maintain this cut and come up to maybe 1/4 of an inch away from the top. So I got about 1/4 of an inch to go. So I'm going to go in here and dig in a little bit more towards the center and take one more cut, going slightly deeper on this than what I've been doing. Okay, that looks good. That looks pretty good. The piece will sit on these 4 little legs over here. There's some checking going through here, so I'm going to put a little bit of CA on this. Make sure that I don't lose it at the end. And this edge will be just hand sanded just to break off this very sharp edge. Time to go in here and follow up this profile. Don't know if I'm going to go slightly flat to make the legs protrude out a little bit and then up. I will see on that. I can either do it this way, or I can come in from the outside, which is a push cut. So let's see what that gives me. Hopefully, the only drawback with doing this push cut is that it might tear away, not so much here, but at the cross grain when it is coming up from the end grain. So give it a test cut. See how it looks. Speed is at 1100 RPM. So I can already see, with slivers like this flying off, it's not the best approach. So you always have to look to what works for that particular situation. On this case, this is the cut. Here you see the ghost image of the thickness that you're following and the profile. Keep this area slightly thicker as not to break it off. Gonna make a slight recess here and then cave it in, clean it out, and make a lid, domed lid on this and the finial. Let's see how that goes. So this is my recess right here. That's where the lid will sit. Unfortunately, I can't wear this too long because I didn't. So sometimes I don't wear it because of that. And I can't talk while wearing this. Applying Yorkshire grit, getting the colors to come through on this, and see what it looks like with the sanding. And I think that the sanding overall looks good. This should give me a nice finish on this piece. And apply a little bit of OB shine juice. Dropping at 1600 RPM. And this, my friends, should be an amazing finish. And like always, I always try to show that you use what you got, whatever you have, or whatever you like. What I like is very basic stuff. Nothing exotic. The only thing that I use that's purchased over here per se is my Yorkshire grit. Nice flamboyance going through here, where it changes the coloration as you rotating, where the light really is playing with this. Amazing. I like the results. Time to get it off the lathe, put it aside, and start working on a dome for this. For the lid, being mahogany, I was going to go with a light wood. I was considering actually going a piece of ash, and I know the contrast would work really beautiful because mahogany is fairly dark, but I have something that will go a lot darker and might work as well. I'm hoping that it does, and it's a very, very special piece of wood that I got in the shop. I got left over an old piece from a column of an Indian shrine, and what wood? Indian rosewood. Now I know when I cut this is extremely hard, and there's reservation from some people saying, oh, it looks like ebony, or it looks like something that it's not. It's Indian rosewood. The history of this piece was very well detailed when I received this. Last year I turned a bowl, keeping the natural color of the outside edge, keeping it as natural as I could, which was a gift to my daughter, my youngest daughter, who got married out in Idaho. And her in-laws, the family from her in-laws, who is a fine woodworker who works with a lot of exotic stuff, is the one that gracefully gave me a couple of butt cuts. Now, all the rest that he had of these columns, he would cut them into slabs and make highlight pieces on furniture. So he gave me these pieces to see what I could come up with. Like I said, last year I made the bowl, and I've been hanging to this for quite some time and wondering, what do I want to do with this? I think that this is the time that this comes into the lathe and get some use. I'm going to put it in between centers on a spur drive and start making a tenon, because this is too thin and I don't have smaller jaws to be a tenon. So I'll start shaping it up a little bit from outside and create a tenon that's going to go into these jaws, and then shape the whole piece until it fits in with a concave inside and a little recess to receive the piece. So again, let's see how it goes, and hopefully I don't ruin this piece, because this is one of those pieces that is a once in a lifetime that you get. Make it fairly true on the backside. Now the person that gave me this cut his slabs on a bandsaw with carbide blades, and during the cutting of this, and that was the warning that I got, he went through several blades just to rip this. So it's hard stuff. When I was turning, people made comments on the last piece that sounded like I was cutting iron. And people have asked, hey, could it be ironwood? No, it's Indian rosewood, estimated to be about 400 years old. So let me get started. Gonna really true this one up, more or less to the size that I already need, start shaping and make a tenon so I can clean up the bottom. Lathe speed is gonna... Alright, to start off with 700 RPM. So I don't do a lot of turning from the backside. What I'm looking for is to try to get the same profile that I got going here, following up into this. I will finalize it once I get it together, but I want to make sure that it flows together. Parting tool. Another 1/4 inch. I'm actually going to create a tenon on the bottom side so I can really true this up from the top. So I'm gonna undermine it and make a tenon. Well, time to go in here with a little bit of Yorkshire grit. I do have some fillers in here that I wasn't really too keen on, but it's a 300 or 400 year old piece of wood, so some of it might be expected. Got to redo this area because I profiled the whole thing together. I was close with my initial profiling, but finalized it. I did it, I sanded, not cut. The cuts were good, but I sanded it all with the piece in place. So I resanded this area as well. I hope it looks as good as it did before. And really all I'm going to have to do is profile this little lid, the handle over here a little bit. And of course, finish up the bottom of this piece. Back with the old Beeshine juice. Time to flip it and finish up the backside.